And that's really, really important to realize, that people with disabilities, as we have become more diverse and more inclusive in society, will proceed to carve out our own space, and we will determine the accessibility that we need. So you need to begin that dialogue and keep that dialogue going, and that is basically why we're here today.
Nice.
Thank you, Laurie. We'll go next to Keenan.
Okay, am I on? I'm pleased to hear Laurie's comments, because following Laurie, I was quite intimidated that perhaps my comments would not align with yours. It's not a good place to be. But I think they do, and if I may be so bold, kind of an opposite side of a similar coin, which is my own personal stake in this. So I don't have a disability or a disability label. So why am I here? And believe me, I'm honored to be included in this community, because it's actually kind of a unique space. And how I got here, basically in 1989, through sheer happenstance, I actually misread the wording on a job application. I did not know that a developmental challenge had to do with disabilities, apparently. It was actually my thinking that this was about perhaps people from economically disadvantaged homes, and I had some experience working with that community, so I applied for a position. And it was actually for working with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And as they proceeded through the job interview, and I realized I had no idea what they were talking about, and I got the job, by the way, it struck me that for 21 years of my life in this community, for some reason, I had never met a person with Down syndrome. I had never met a person with autism. I had never met a person with cerebral palsy. And I was really angry and offended, and I was asking really ignorant, probing questions like, where have they been? Why has this happened? Well, I went all through a school system that segregated all those individuals somewhere else. I didn't see them, and they didn't see me. I was living my life in university and in the community. Once again, there's a special place where they go, and I don't see them, and they don't see me. Same as in my workplaces. Nobody there. So this really bothered me and struck me and stuck with me, even as I went on to a career for a little while in the high-tech industry. Felt that my soul was fading away, and kind of went back to this thought of maybe there's something I could do to make a difference. And so how this relates to the theme is that I see all this separation and segregation that is born out of the charity model thinking. It's not a mean-spirited thinking, it's an outdated thinking of people of difference being better off, separate, segregated, protected. And so, as Laurie was saying, as we move into the new way of thinking and doing, and people like Laurie and others driving that experience, but also there's a responsibility to the rest of the community, including fundraisers, that the way we talk and act is at the very least about asking questions and being welcoming and being inclusive, and not making assumptions on behalf of other people based on difference in labels. And so that's kind of how I look at the two models. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Keenan. And now we're going to go to Tracy.
Thank you, Brian. And Keenan and Laurie. Now, I have to stand up to show you a visual aid, and sorry to the cameraman who is going to have to move with me. But it is an excellent example of the charity model doing exceptional work. And it comes from the Sudbury Star in 1970.